You have reached your destination.
Yep. Okay, so here is the Dexter axle that I bought from Redneck Trailer Supplies. Um, if ever you're looking for something like this was a custom piece. These are the guys to go to. I had nothing but good luck. I put an order in at their website. I had a whole bunch of questions, and one of the guys contacted me. Excuse me, contacted me immediately, and it was at night. And I've had a lot of conversations with him after the fact, at night, in the daytime, on and on. He's been very good about following up. Unfortunately for them, I had requested that this thing get made in Indiana, I think it was, and then shipped to Pennsylvania. It's about a 3-hour drive for me. Would have been nice to pick it up, stick it in the back of my car, put the top down, and drive home. You know, but they they made a mistake and shipped it directly to my door, and I didn't have to pay for shipping. So I thought that was absolutely spot on. This equals. I plan to do more of these things, and maybe sell them and of course give them to Make a Wish, etc. But I'm going to continue to go back to these guys. They sell just these things plus mounting kits and a few other things. So very, very, very nicely done. Press pause just while I cough. So again, the guy that I've been dealing with is Mark, Mark Letter, and well, I tell you what, Mark, you made a customer for life just because of your astounding and excellent customer service skills. I pointed out that the shipper shipped it minus an end cap. So within 2 days, I had a new end cap. I have 2 new end caps. Um, I mean, I just couldn't ask for a better. I just have a good. I'm happy about how it all ended up. I really am. I mentioned that there were some spots of bare paint, and as a result, a little bit of rust. And I remembered that when I ordered this thing, it was going to come primed and not necessarily painted. So I've got some work to do on it. That's what this is up on, somewhat of a slight stand. I'm going to pull my hobby horses down here and put them together, clean this thing up, and then reprime it, and then repaint it with 3 or 4 coats of chassis paint, so it'll be freaking good for forever. Yeah, that's pretty much. All right, this is done. I'm using Summit Racing chassis paint, and I wanted this to be satin, glossy. So that's what I've got. I've got the end cap on here. I've got the lug nuts on there. I'm going to soak them in acetone once everything is dry so that they're back silver and nice. I took some time with my wire wheel and and some sandpaper and all kinds of other stuff and got this thing nice and clear. And oh well, here we go. It's looking good. I'm going to let this dry overnight, and I'll have to put it somewhere where it's out of the way and not dusty. I'm gonna put this inside, so I'll be that single guy with car parts in his house. And I've taped off the end caps so that when I take them off, they're going to be silver. I might take that stuff off now so that it's easier. So here is today's work. I'm going to fill in this hole and fill in the front of the trailer. I've tried to conform this curve to this, right? I don't know if you can see that. I can't through my screen. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Conform this to here. I know it's not even at the bottom, and I want that because I'm going to make a little bit of a bridge like that. Okay, and on the other side as well. Yeah, you can see my priming. I got a lot of work ahead of me there. I've bent the other side up as well to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is cover this with tape. And behind that, I'll put, stand up here. I'm gonna put some of that fiberglass mat. That's boat rated, thick ass, pretty awesome stuff. Overkill for what I'm doing, but again, I'm looking for strength and stability. So that will adhere to the tape, and I'll put a layer of fiberglass resin onto that, and then over all of that, in a piece about yay big, will be on from behind will be another piece of fiberglass. So once that sets and cures, I will take off the tape and do body putty and etc. to fill in any unseemly oopses, oh boys, and oh my goshes. So I'm also going to test fit the drawbar. I've already put it on. I mean, I've already test fitted. I know where I've got to cut and weld and yada yada yada. I don't know where I need to go here. Okay, so I assume I'll be cutting to about right here, about to this level, right? And then go from there. So interesting. I mean, this is a lot of fun. This is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. So, and now that the sun is out and I'm able to get a gander at what I'm doing in the sun, I can see drips and shit like that, stuff like that. I'm not too awfully worried about this stuff. I'm going to sand it down and then put another layer of primer over it. Once all of the body work is done, and all I need to do is make the surface pretty. Okay, so go ahead and bitch and grouse and complain about sanding and scratches and on and on and on. I know there's some other work that's still pending and I've got going on, so I don't care if you grouse about it. Yep. So there we go. Okay, here's something I was taking a long goddamn time to do. Using my angle grinder with a cutting disc and a flapper disc, I have removed in a nice curving pattern the metal that was jutting down below. I'm looking for, of course, how it looks nice. I'm looking for appearance, right? I'm also about to enclose the hole that was between the fiberglass and that same piece of metal that I just shaved off. Okay, what I'm using is this stuff, actual ducting tape. It's this aluminum stuff my brother-in-law gave me, and it is really good when it comes to fiberglass. The adhesive in this stuff does not react to the resin. Okay, so again, using that thick mat, I'm going to put that mat down. You can see the in this case here, here's the angle iron, and there's the end of the edge of the what do you call it? This thing. Okay. So I will fill it with both fiberglass resin and mat. I'll let it cure overnight, and when I remove it, I'll be able to shape it if I need to. I'll be able to grind it. I'll be able to make it smooth. Okay, same stuff as this. It's literally the same process. And there she goes. Now I am done with the two sides there. Ugh. And I pulled the tape off on this side here. Okay, so I have a little bit of a gap there, and that's good. And listen, so that's nice and hard. And this is thicker than this stuff here. Okay, all I'm going to do then is fill this in with fiberglass, shape it down to a fill this in with fiberglass, shape it down to something that I like, and then make it part of the final structure. So let's sneeze. Good sneeze. So that'll be the last thing I do tonight, and yeah, I just love doing this stuff. Fiberglass is so much easier to use than the metal, honestly, in my opinion. Yep. And here's where we're at. So I've got some filling to do. I'll do that here in a second. And I've got a couple spots I'm going to put some fiberglass resin directly into. This didn't soak in very well. And the rest of it looks pretty good. Okay, so this is the new stuff. That's from the tape. Oops, that's from the tape. I have an open spot here. I'll fill that as well, and some here, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to get shaved down. The drawbar will come down about, what, another ½ an inch out. So it's actually going to go through and through the front of the thing here. So yeah, yep. But I'm happy to see that this slant down looks nice. And I did a pretty good job on, gosh dang it, pretty good job on that. So I've got some filling here to do and other minor things, but structurally, this is ½ an inch. It's a little, well, it's about as thick as this. So I've got good strength there. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Swing. Okay, this is sort of a here's where I'm at video. I filled this in with some fiberglass. That's what you're looking at there. I'm going to shape that, sand that, call it a good substrate, and then make it nice and even. So I'm pretty actually pleased by how it turned out. Same thing over here. This one especially is going to be pretty easy to shape and finish up. While I was waiting for this stuff to kind of cure and dry, I found a few spots I want to redo. Whoops, there's one. There's one. There's a couple. So I've got some filling to do, not much. Some there. Beautiful day outside. And yeah, then I'll sand this smooth. Put that, walk over here. Once I'm done sanding smooth, I'm going to put this stuff down. These are some AMG. It's a primer surfacer, as it says right there, okay? Think of this as sprayable Bondo almost, and it's not Bondo. It is polyester, so it's very thin. It mixes with this, so it's a two-part catalyst kind of a deal. And what goes on the surface of this stuff, and I probably won't do it on the vertical parts, but what goes on is a tenth of an inch, and it takes care of the bits and the pieces and the little tiny things that you wouldn't put, god damn, burping, Bondo down, like through here. I don't know if you can tell here, there you go, right through here. Little bits of, where I marked it, where I scored it, where I dorked it up with my angle grinder. So, again, not worthy of Bondo, but it's worthy of being sprayed over, and, there we go. So, I see a couple more spots I want to redo over there, too. Yeah, so, there we go. Okay, packing it in for the night, and wanted to kind of showcase my, my philosophy on Bondo. So, let's take a look at this. Here's the low spot, right through here. Almost a figure 8, almost an 8 size. All of this gets sanded off, leaving the high spot. Bondo has a tendency to shrink a little bit, so I put a little bit more on than what I needed. So by tomorrow morning, by tomorrow, I will, God, tomorrow's Thursday, I will be sanding this down with that high spot there. Same thing here. It looks like a lot, but it's not. There's just a low spot. You can kind of see. Can you see? Maybe you can't see, but also a circle sort of here. Circle and a little elongated, almost like a bottle, okay? Little tiny dry spot, low spot. And some of these were just because I was running out of time. The Bondo was curing and I needed to put it somewhere, so a low spot here, right? All of this will get sanded down, so there's not a huge amount of Bondo on this thing. The rest of the stuff, like I mentioned before, will be taken care of with that primer filler. Okay, Again, it looks like that's a lot, but all of that, almost all of that, will be on the floor by tomorrow. And yes, I know I should put so much on, then sand it off, blah blah blah, whatever. Same thing here. You can actually see right here. That's the spot that I'm filling in, and you can see the rest of it is going to be just wasted on the floor. Okay. And then a slightly low spot that I wanted to fill in there. So I didn't like the gutter on there, so I'm redoing some in there, and some low spots that would probably have been filled in with the filler primer filler. That's it. So, oh, jeez. That's it for the night. I'm gonna have myself. I might drink a beer on my deck. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so today's Thursday. It's like 10:30 p.m. and I want you to see how that curve looks. That corner, awfully gosh darn nice. I like it. You're looking at my oopses and oh by the ways and my method of final sanding and so forth. Every circle denotes the smidgest, come on now, the smidgest of I want to fill in more. Some here, you can see that pretty clearly. Very small divot. A little tiny pinhole. An undercorrection, good euphemism, and another one there. So I'll put a little bit of Bondo on there, and then I will smooth it out. Much of what is in this corner here is fiberglass. Okay, fiberglass, in my opinion, is much more. It's much better than Bondo. Bondo tends to retain water, and it's porous, whereas fiberglass is not. So the majority of this entire thing here is fiberglass with, and that's fiberglass there. That's what that color is. You can see how after sanding down this Bondo a little bit, you can see that the substrate is fiberglass. So I want to do a little bit under there too. I'm awfully pleased. I've been doing this for a couple hours. I left work and got directly into this, and awfully happy with what I've been doing. So the other side looks just as good. You can see here it's not done. I mean, this is what I put over my oopses and oh by the ways and things I want to redo, and you can see how much of it ends up on the floor. So probably 9/10 of it, 90% ends up on the floor with just a skiff of Bondo on this stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about how it's looking. I'm beginning to sand down some of the paint and my oopses and my my drips and everything else. And very soon I'll be putting that top coat, that top sealer on, and I'll thin that out. I will sand it out, and then do the actual priming. So yeah, I'm in my happy spot right now. Yep. Okay, so I am more or less done with the lion's share of the body work on the body. Got a few things I want to do. I'll take you around. I have spray painted with epoxy primer some of the areas I put Bondo down, just so the Bondo will soak it up. And when I go to prime this thing again, you won't see the splotches in the sunshine. Okay, some parts are still wet, as you can see, and I am pretty happy, very happy in fact, with how the bottoms turned out. Again, got a few things I want to redo or touch up. I can see a inconsistency there, for example. But in all, not bad. Again, the splotches are still wet primer. Didn't put any primer there because I didn't need to. I will wipe all that off. That's just dust. when I go to put down my next stage. Okay, so the next stage is going to be filler primer. Primer coat, or whatever the hell it's called. Super build. And I did take some opportunity to kind of fill in some of those divots and dings and really ugly bits. You can still see maybe a few of them, really light ones, but yeah. So here's an example of what Bondo will do with paint. Bondo, 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 no Bondo. You can see a difference in color because Bondo soaks in stuff. This is why I do not put Bondo on bare metal. That's why I always put epoxy primer down before I do any body work. And the two are happy with each other and bind and so forth. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of little things, little tiny pinholes I wanted to get done, and so forth. So sometime today or tonight, I'm gonna coat this thing again in the that stuff, the Evercoat Super Build, and that'll put a good layer of stuff down on this, what, 1/8 of an inch or something, and give me something that I can long sand. And I have no idea where I put my long sanding kit. I've got to crawl up in there and kind of sort through some things, but yeah. Yep. Yeah, I did about 9 hours last night and a couple of hours today. I'm just so tickled. I love doing this. Truly I do. And there we go. Finally, I have no shit completed the, what do you call it? This stuff, the base coat. Not base coat. God damn it, the stuff that I just threw away in the trash can and don't have a label for. That stuff. Anyway, think of it as liquid Bondo. And I have it all over the car. And what you're looking at is not a crease or a bad body job. It is, in fact, a shadow and some stuff that's a little thicker in some areas than there. And I have found that I've got a couple places I didn't see that I'll need to work on. Okay. Evercoat, that's the name of it. Polyester spray-on stuff. Using my HVLP gun and a setup. So, it's still drying, and I do have some shadows here, so what looks a little weird, again, is, yeah, see, shadow. That'll dry, I'll let that dry overnight, and then I'll start to block sand it using my longboards. Where'd I put that stuff? Dang, things are, I'm not wearing glasses, so I don't know where I put them. Anyway, so probably 90% of what's on this car right now, this trailer right now, will end up on the floor as dust as I block sand. And again, some a wet spot, I guess, and more wet spots. I will take tomorrow to start block sanding this. Yeah. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the body work I did, and yeah, I'm just pleased, you know. Yay me. So there we go. I'm gonna post this tonight, let this cure over the evening and tomorrow, and get back into it. Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. And again, extra that hasn't dried yet, and some other spots that haven't dried yet. So I'll go crazy with the comments about you fucked up the coating. God, you're all messed up. Yep, there we go. There we go.